when you draw a house, you can just use a bunch of different rectangles and triangles and try putting them together in all different combinations. Try overlapping them, making some of them big and some of them smaller. Watch me put rectangles and triangles together to create a more complex shape for a house. Try to use more than one rectangle and one triangle. Outline your pencil marks in Sharpie marker. Take your time. Make sure you go over every single pencil mark carefully. And when you're finished, erase any leftover marks that may be left behind. Choose a few colors that go together. We call this a color scheme. Houses usually have one color for window and door trim, one color for the siding, and one color for the roof. 3 or 4 colors are plenty. Color carefully. Color in one direction using equal pressure and get all the white spots. Again, one direction and equal pressure. Don't press really hard and then really soft in different directions because it will look messy. If you want to make it darker, go over it 2 or 3 times. Crayons can have a very transparent or very opaque look. And you can layer your colors to create new colors. Making your house into a collage. I'm going to make a triangular roof for my collage, so I'm going to take this square and cut from one corner to the other to make 2 equal triangles. I'll use one triangle for my house and one triangle for my garage, attached garage. I want a more complex shape than just this square and triangle. So I will be adding a rectangle and another triangle to make the house more complex. To glue my shapes, I'm going to apply glue all around the outside of the shape. I have newspaper underneath my shape so I don't get glue on my project or on the table. It's very important to put glue all the way to the edge of the shape so that the edges don't stick up or come unglued. You really don't need glue in the middle. You can if you want to, but I'm looking for your edges to be glued down nice and flat. So make sure you rub all around the shape so it touches your paper and the glue makes contact and it glues nice and flat. I'm going to glue the rest of my shapes in the same way. Watch how I use the newspaper. Apply glue all around the edge and rub the pieces in place. I will put 4 shapes together to create a complex house shape. Now it's time to add windows, building materials, doors, landscaping. To make windows, I'm going to cut a square in half to make 2 rectangles. Then I'm going to cut the rectangle in half again to make 2 squares. I can continue to cut these shapes in half, making them smaller and smaller for different details. And I can trim them from one side to the other to make them smaller and straighter. Make your edges as straight as you can so your house doesn't look like it's falling down. If you want to make 2 shapes the same size, you can overlap them and cut them together to make sure they are exactly the same. This is a good practice when making windows, since windows are usually uniform. I like to use 2 shapes for the windows. Please use at least 2 shapes for the windows. This creates a frame and a window pane. You may have more than 1 window pane. Sometimes windows have smaller panes of glass. Please be sure to use at least 2 shapes though, because the square on its own or rectangle on its own does not look like a window. You really need to put 2 shapes together in order to make something that looks a little bit like a window. Here I'm going to take a strip of paper and cut straight across it a bunch of times to make a bunch of equal-sized squares. I'm going to use these small squares inside my windows to make it look like the window has smaller panes of glass. Some older houses have windows like this. It's good to show the building materials. I'm going to make it look like the garage is made of wood planks. So I'm starting with a rectangle that is the exact same size as the garage. And then I'm just going to cut straight across. It's the same size as the garage, see? And now I'm going to cut straight across to create lines in a slightly different color. Those lines are going to make it look like siding, wood siding or boards on the garage. I will take care gluing these on, and then I will overlap with my garage door shape. Now I'm going to make shingles for the roof, and I'm going to start with a triangle that is the exact same size as the roof. So when I'm making building materials, I'm starting with two shapes the same size. Then I can cut my shingles in rows out of that same triangle, and they'll fit perfectly inside my roof shape. I always like to use at least two shapes for my doors too. So my garage door is no different. I'm going to use at least two shapes. Here I am cutting a rectangle to fit inside. Give me a minute because I'm going to add other details. I'm going to add a balcony outside of one of the upper windows. That'll be a sliding glass door with a balcony. I might add some landscaping and a porch, other things like that. Could go on my house as well. I think my house needs a side entrance, so that'll be the last thing I add. I hope you have as much fun as I did making your house.